whisper to me, baby, I'm too far gone to care. I wish I could have said what I meant when it was right there. Now I'm laying in bed with you, and you're falling asleep. How could you look so peaceful when you know I'm gonna leave? Okay, today we're gonna learn Staying by Lizzy McAlpine. So this song is in the key of B, and piano players hate the key of B, so we're gonna use this opportunity to learn the whole thing in the key of B, but then we're gonna move it up a half step to the key of C, and then that way we can really analyze what the chords are functionally. So if you're a songwriter, you can steal some of these tricks, and if you want to play the song in different keys, you can start to understand how you can transpose. So starting with the key of B, we're playing B major, add 9, if you want. It works either way. Then C minor 7 flat 5. So there's two ways you can look at this. You can go 2 minor 7, which is C sharp minor 7, 1 flat 3 5 flat 7, and then from there you lower the 5th degree. That's that flat 5. Or you can look at it as a diminished triad on the bottom, so 2 minor thirds stacked, and then you can add that flat 7. So this is not a diatonic chord, meaning that it's not taken from the notes of the key. So this is diatonic, but this is a little funkier. Then we have 6 minor 7, so that's G sharp minor 7, that is diatonic. And then we have 4 major, but it's 6 instead of the 5. And sometimes it's resolved. So that's basically the chords for the verses. And then for the chorus, you have B major, then you have F sharp minor over B, then you have E, and then you have E minor 6. So those are all in root position. So now let's go over what voicing we're going to use. So for that verse, B9, we're going to, instead of playing it in root position, we're going to play it in not second inversion, but first inversion. And then that way we can add that 9 there. And then when we get to the C sharp minor 7 flat 5, we can kind of not have to move too far. So we have C sharp, 1 flat 3 flat 5 flat 7 and 1. And then we can play G sharp minor 7 in this voicing. So this is the 1 flat 3 5, that's root position. But we're going to move that thumb down. So this is the flat 7, because we already have this G sharp root. And then we can just play a root position E6, and then resolve it to E. So do those again, and then this time you're coming to F diminished, and then E, and then E minor 6. Then in the chorus, B in this inversion, not root, but second. And that way you can play a nice root position F sharp minor in the right hand. And then you can do a root position E, that's nice and easy. So you might have heard that little bass line there, that's what the piano player is doing. So that's basically, in the key, it's like 2, 1, so approaching the 1, and then approaching the 5 of the chord. So do. So that just gives it a little extra spice. So now let's take the whole thing and put it in C, and this is going to make it all make a lot more sense. So we're playing the 1 chord, 2 minor 7 flat 5. You can hear that that's not diatonic. This is like very spicy. It's borrowing this note from a different key. Then we have 6 minor 7, so we've got A minor 7, 1 flat 3 5 flat 7. And then we have 4, 6. So this is a regular 4 major. This is, so it's F or F6. So whisper to me, baby, I'm too far gonna care. I wish I could have said what I meant when it was right there. Now I'm laying in bed with you, and you're falling asleep. How can you look so peaceful when you know I'm gonna leave? So this one's interesting. It's not a diatonic chord, but you can kind of start to understand why that weird diminished chord is in there. So in this case, it's F sharp diminished, which of course is not diatonic to the key of C, because there's a black note in there. But if you think about F, that's that 4 chord, as the target chord, it's kind of obvious that like what that F sharp diminished is like a leading, because the only note that changes is that F sharp to F. So it's kind of like leading into the 4, which is a really cool trick to use. 4 minor is not diatonic, but it's used a lot by songwriters. It's very nice sounding. So 4 minor 6 is even cooler. So that's a great trick to have up your sleeve as a songwriter. And then we've got here 1, and then 5 minor, which is not diatonic, over the 1. So normally you'd have G, that's the 5 chord, so 1, 5, but we have 1, 5 minor, which is really nice. And then 4, and then 4, 6. Then the bridge is the same chords as the chorus. Maybe I would be okay if I let this go forever. Send it into space and watch the planets turn. So let's go back into the B key. So he does this really interesting line here, like this. Maybe I would be okay if I let this go forever. Send it into space and watch the planets turn. So this is not diatonic. Part of it is. So if we're in the key of B major, this is the major scale. So we're playing 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is where it goes outside of the key. Flat 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 1. So really it's just flat 6 and flat 7 that are weird. So if you're playing that in the key of C, maybe I would be okay if I let this go forever. Send it into space and watch the planets turn. So it's just those two. Okay, so let's go back into that original key. So you can see here, like, if your voice sounds funky in a certain key, and you're like, I don't like the way I sound, or if it's like actually too high or too low for you, this is the trick that you need to learn, is how to analyze a song and go, okay, that's the 1 chord, that's the 2 chord, and then apply it. Let's actually, to make my point, let's take it all the way to, like, let's do the key of G. So, okay, so we've got the 1 chord, the 5 minor, so that'll be D minor. Is that right? Yeah, and then the 4 chord, and then the 4 minor 6. Send it into space and watch the planets turn. So this is why you have to learn all your keys really well, because if you know all your diatonic chords in every key, then you can play any song in any key. You just need to know the analysis. So, okay, we're going to take it back into the key of B now. So, maybe I would be okay this go forever. Send it into space and watch the planets turn. Maybe I will someday. Let this go forever. Hold me until I find the nerve. Oh. Okay, so that is Staying. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and definitely don't forget to download the free sheet music in the description so that you can follow along. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.